what is Trump doing? He is advancing the interests of American oil companies that are eager to get their hands on the sour crude from Venezuela that produces big profit margins for them, rather than fighting for democracy or producing regional stability by working with our allies. This is a stunning development, and one that has echoes and consequences for us, not just in this region, but around the world.
Senator, you put your finger just down. Simone and I looked at each other.
We were like, yes, it's the oil, it's the oil.
That's the point. It's the oil. This is not about anything other than that. And you asked the question about, why the vice president versus Machado? Why? It's because he's cutting his deal. He's cutting his deal with the vice president. He's left virtually all of Maduro's people in place. Hello, folks. Understand what's happening here. The deals are being cut to divide this up. Don't we find it interesting, Senator, that the president meets with the head of oil companies here in the U.S. before briefing you? I mean, what do we understand is going on here?
Michael, in 2024, the Washington Post published an article saying that Donald Trump, as candidate, met with the executives of the major oil companies in the United States and said, you raise $1 billion for my presidential campaign, and I'll make sure things go really well for you when I'm president. Taking over and getting access to the country with the world's largest oil reserves and making those accessible to American oil companies whose refineries were built decades ago specifically to take Venezuelan oil back when we had regular positive commerce with Venezuela. That's the kind of windfall profits that the oil executives are looking for. And it is stunning that he would brief them before briefing the members of Congress. And I bet you when we look hard, there will be members of Congress and this administration who conducted stock trades on that knowledge before the rest of us had any idea what was happening.
So, I mean, what then? I'm going to be honest. I'm just like the regular people that woke up Saturday morning like, we got Maduro. What is happening next? Because, again, I say a president that will just ignore Congress abroad, make his own rules up abroad and his own justifications abroad for foreign policy is not going to all of a sudden start respecting those things here at home domestically. And I've heard from a lot of people that said, well, dang, these are literal quotes. Is Congress asleep here? What is Congress going to do? And I understand that Democrats are in the minority, but Senator, I think hearing from you specifically, folks should understand that your Republican colleagues here are not necessarily trying to take up the banner for congressional oversight and control and as a co-equal branch of government, trying to knock on the door of the administration saying, hey, y'all need to pay attention to what we think here, and this is unacceptable.
Simone, Congress is not asleep. Democrats in Congress are standing up, speaking out, demanding accountability, and we will have a vote this week in the Senate on a resolution put forward by Democratic Senator Tim Kaine demanding that President Trump stop military action in Venezuela unless it is authorized. Who is asleep or obsequious or just going blah, 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 is the Republicans in Congress who are not demanding accountability, who are not demanding that there be authorization from Congress before this sort of thing goes. And President Trump is telling us right now what's Chapter 2 and what's Chapter 3 and what's Chapter 4 of this book. Colombia, Cuba, Denmark. Are we seriously going to sleepwalk into wars across this whole region and wars that might risk the whole NATO alliance? If President Trump is serious about threatening Greenland, he is threatening the foundation of transatlantic security that has kept the United States safe and prosperous for decades, and for no clear reason. The Danes have welcomed us into Greenland. They would welcome us working with them to develop critical minerals, to expand our military presence, to protect against Russia and China. So Trump is making threats against American allies in ways that are outrageous and unfounded. and Republicans are saying nothing.
I
can understand criticizing Cuba. I can understand criticizing Venezuela, but invading them, that's an incredibly risky undertaking.
I just have one follow-up. Do you think he is serious? I believe we should take the president at his word, but do you think he is serious, and do your colleagues on Capitol Hill believe the president is being serious?
I think he's serious as a heart attack, and he's going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Look, I never imagined that he would vocally, publicly disrespect Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office and say to him, you don't have the cards, and you have to give up territory, and you have to make peace with Putin. And he did. I didn't think that he would send in the elite of the American Armed Forces, 150 planes, 200 soldiers to carry out a midnight raid to kidnap Maduro and bring him back to the United States. But he just did. So frankly, we should be clear-eyed that until Congress puts limits, until the American people put limits on what he can do, he's just going to keep going.